Good afternoon, little hoes. My name is Kristen and welcome back to my channel. So today's video I am super excited about. I took a little break over Thanksgiving and I'm glad I did. I've come back refreshed and I have a really fun video idea for you. So I'm hoping you guys enjoy it too. Today let's play a game. Let's do a Would You Rather Plant Edition. So I think you guys have probably all done the would you rather questions, either BuzzFeed or whatever. And I had the idea I should do a plant related one. I have my notes right here, and I also will be answering the questions along the way. So please chime in with your own opinions down below. The first one is, would you rather only be allowed to collect one genera the rest of your life, and that would include species, forms, and cultivars, or would you rather grow only one plant, be it species or cultivar, from every genera? That would mean, mealybug. Sorry, squished it. That would essentially mean you could grow, like you love calathea, you could grow every form of calathea in the first scenario, but nothing else. Or in the second scenario, you could grow one of each. So you could have one calathea, one senecio, one mammillaria, one philodendron, but you couldn't have any others, just one of each. For me, I always have enjoyed collecting plants, and I especially have gotten into at various stages of my life certain genres. When I was doing more outdoor gardening with my parents' house, I had a fairly large and or growing collection of geum. I think I've grown probably like 15 or 16 different cultivars and species. I've also collected helenium. I've also had a thing for like David Austin roses at some point. I think that I would probably go with collect one genera again, just because I tend to nerd out over one specific genera at a time. And like most people, I've kind of fallen hard for like philodendrons. So I would probably go with growing only philodendrons. And there's so many varieties and forms out there that I think I would probably be able to collect them for a while without running out of things to buy. So, what is yours on that? Next one is, would you rather have an unlimited plant budget but hardly any space to put new plants, or have unlimited space but a very small allowance for plants? Difficult, but I think I would rather have unlimited space and not much money for plants. Kind of cheating because I already have a very small allowance that I allow myself for plants. I'm good at saving up, so I think I would rather, save my allowance for a long time to get a special plant than not be able to have enough room. But again, I already don't have a lot of room, so would you rather never be allowed to grow your dream plant or never get your dream greenhouse? I have wanted my greenhouse for so long that I would definitely have to say I would rather not have my dream plant. And my dream plant is also extremely expensive, so I've already resigned myself to the fact that I may never grow it. So I would much rather have my greenhouse. Since I started gardening as a teenager, I've always wanted one. I want a nice, big, heavy-duty, glass, not plastic-sided greenhouse with wonderful ventilation, so many benches, a place to sit. Yeah, I'd be a little heartbroken if I thought I'd never be able to get my greenhouse. So the next one is a three-parter, and it's kind of out there. Kind of a weird one. Would you rather have the Midas variegated touch for plants and be able to turn any green leaf plant variegated that you wanted? B, have the Lazarus touch and resurrect any dead or dying plants? Or C, have the duplication charm touch. Yes, that's a Harry Potter reference. My hands look like they're like little tiny hands right now. Or would you rather have the duplication touch and be able to duplicate / propagate any plant that you wanted? I started out this questionnaire with just the first two, which was kind of difficult enough, but then I threw in the third one to make it extra difficult for myself, and it has. I don't know. I adore variegated plants. That's my thing. I love foliage more than I love flowers. It would be super nice to have the Lazarus touch and resurrect any plant that was dead or dying. But then again, it would be really cool to propagate any plant that you wanted just by touch. I don't know. I think I'm probably struggling the most between A and C. But I think it would be the most fun to have the variegated touch. Yeah, that's my final answer, variegated touch. Just because, again, I love variegated, and I think that would be a really badass. So I'm told this one is a very nerdy question, but would you, A, rather never be allowed to own a grow light, or B, never own a humidifier? And I'm sure this is kind of just one of those personal things. If you have not enough light, obviously you need a grow light in some circumstances. For me, I have been dabbling with plants that like it a little bit more humid and tropical, and it is extremely dry here in the winter. So I think I would rather be allowed to own a humidifier for that reason. For this next one, it's kind of a question of if you're an introvert or not. I think that probably decide the question for you right there. But would you like to be the caretaker for a beautiful estate garden and never have to deal with people? Or B, work in a really hectic nursery environment, but get to geek out with other plant nerds, be it fellow employees or regular customers? What would you rather do? For me, my current job is somewhat hectic, but I only have like a couple people to nerd out with. But I am an introvert at heart, and working in retail has stomped the joy out of my eyes when it comes to being around other people. So I don't know. See, I think I would really hate to not be able to talk to other people about plants. See, I don't know. This one's so difficult for me. I keep going over it in my head, and I don't know. I also feel like I might legitimately lose my mind if I didn't work with anyone all day or have to see people. So I think I would rather work in a nursery and geek out with other plant people. That's my answer. Next question. Would you rather not be allowed to garden, do anything plant related, or see your plants for a year? Although in this scenario, your plants don't die, so pretend you have a plant sitter or something. Or B, not be able to buy any plant for a year. I personally would rather not be around my plants or garden for a year than have to be forced not to buy something for a year. And yes, that's a testament to I probably buy too much and or have a problem with retail therapy with plants. But I know that during that time period, there'd be some awesome plant offered for an amazing price that I'd have to miss out on and always regret it the rest of my life. I would hate for that to happen, so I would much rather not garden for a year. Also, maybe I'm a little biased. I think it might be kind of fun to have such a long break from plants and gardening and just come back to it 10 times as excited. Sort of like in winter when you really want to be outside doing stuff and you can't. So all that pent up energy is just explosive come spring and you finally get outside. All right. So next one is you have to do something embarrassing to gain your next wish list plants. Would you rather A, run naked through a public place and hopefully just not get arrested or anything, or B, have to tell your grandparents your sex life in detail? I'm really curious to see what you guys say to this one. I personally don't mind nudity, and if I have enough tequila in me, I'll probably be naked anyway. So I would much rather streak in public than have to tell my grandparents or parents my sex life. Would you rather have to A, repot a 5-foot cactus without help and without protection, or B, garden without protection in a yard full of stinging nettle? As someone that has had a brush up with stinging nettle, I never want to experience that again. That was painful for a very long time. I would much rather repot a cactus, 5-foot cactus, without protection, I think. Yeah, I think so. I think I could deal with it. Unless it fell on me, in which case that would be bad. But yeah, I'd rather repot the cactus for sure. Okay, so this last question is one boyfriend and I heatedly debated last night for probably an hour. He's not really a plant person, but he was very passionate about this question. He did come up with it. I'll give it to him. He did a fairly good job. Fairly good. I'm not saying it was awesome, boyfriend, but it was a pretty good one. So we had a fun debate about this. Okay, so I'll set this up. You are given the opportunity to obtain your number one dream plant. In the first scenario, you would be given a mature specimen of this plant, but you are not allowed to propagate it. So if it dies, you will never be given another chance to grow it. Or B, you're given seeds of said plant and they are unlimited, but you are only able to grow one seed at a time and still not allowed to propagate it along the way. So, like, vegetatively propagate it. We debated this for so long, and I'm still slightly frazzled from that and not sure what I would pick. I personally feel that mature plants are often a little bit sturdier than seedlings, and there's so much more that could go wrong with seeds. But at the same time, I think we've all killed a pretty large mature plant. B, you're given seeds, but there's no telling how long it might take them to germinate and get to a decent size. And I'm only allowed to grow one at a time, so that's a lot of time potentially wasted. But the logical part of me has dictated that I would choose B. I would rather have unlimited seeds and the chance to keep starting again should I kill the plant. So, what is yours on that? Boyfriend and I would both love to hear that one a lot, I think. So that is the conclusion of Would You Rather Plant Edition. This one I was very excited to make. If you guys have any other questions to add to the Would You Rather, I would love to hear them, and eventually I might do a part 2 of this if I get enough compiled. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you all again later. Bye!